Hey guys, welcome to UKPM Survival and Outdoors here on YouTube, and thanks for joining me in the latest UK Prepper Man video. If this is the first time you've stumbled across my channel, then welcome. It's all about prepping, survival and all that jazz. So if you do enjoy this video, don't forget to check out the rest of the content on the channel. If you like what you see, please like, share and subscribe.
So another idea that we had was to offer people the opportunity to eat with us. Not because people can't cook for themselves or to say that people had to come and eat with us, but just to give them an option and a choice. So Kate and Avril have been working on preparing meals, and simple process. Names on a board by a cut-off time, meal in the evening. £2 a bowl, happy days. And you know, why not? At the end of the day, it's about sharing. It's about getting people involved. And aside from getting people around the campfire, there's always good campfire chat. Having a meal or drink, it's a good way to pass the time, and that's where you can do your networking.
A lot. Very long. Everything I need to survive.
What we're going to do is introduce a multitude methods and ways of trying to conserve that element that you need, because when you're wet and cold and your life depends on whether you can get warm again by lighting a fire, you want that bit to work. So the more often you use it during a shift situation, the more that resource goes down. Now, I do get people who go, well, I'll have multiple lighters. Well, you may be successful. If you're out there for 6 months, 4 lighters go down to 0 lighters. So the more you can conserve them, the better it's going to be. So we're going to show you other different techniques that you can then utilize. So fire consists of 3 elements. It consists of fuel, heat, and air. I nearly forgotten that. I have a senior moment. Okay, so what we need then is something that is able to take a spark. Now when we have a lighter, certainly if it's a friction, we spin the wheel, the flint, it causes a spark, and as we push on the lighter, the gas is released that ignites. So sometimes the tinder that we use may not have that, or I may choose to have an accelerant in it. And one of the most popular is Vaseline balls.
Vaseline balls.
Yeah. So whatever container you keep them in is slightly irrelevant. I keep mine, he says, as he can't find it. I keep mine in more of a tube. This is an old, and I can get 9 Vaseline soaked cotton balls. So if I'm in an urban environment, this is an excellent tinder when I'm foraging or whatever. If I'm in more of a rural environment, I may need something like a tinder bag as I'm going along, collecting natural tinder. Yeah, from the excellent talk Greg gave us this morning about collecting thistle heads or birch bark or shavings. So all of that is vital tinder. So we need both an urban element, because you may be in a city, or you may need a rural element, and both are a combination that's highly advised. And light it, and I'll have to, ooh, there we go, that went out well. So the Vaseline, once I've exposed the dry cotton wool, acts as an accelerant, and that will keep going now for a good 5 minutes. That allows me, if my tinder and the rest of what elements I'm going to utilize on that fire is a poor quality, it will give me a greater chance of setting that fire. Okay, as you can see, it's quite burning quite happily. So what's available as well? Well, you may then decide, I want to reserve my resources and utilize more of a ferrocerium rod. And there's all different types of manufacturers, different sizes. When it comes to ferrocerium rods, in my humble opinion, the bigger the better. And size definitely matters, because it gives you a greater striking surface. So very often ferrocerium rods come with a starter or a piece of rod. I tend to use the saw on any lock blade system. In my case, it's a Leatherman. So again, sometimes they come with these, and like I said, they come in varying shapes and sizes. But again, I'm of a humble opinion that size matters. So how does it work if I use, again, a Vaseline ball? Can I get the same effect? Well, yes, I can. I expose it. The Vaseline is very sticky, as you'll discover. And then simply, the great thing about having bigger is better, I can also put magnesium on there if I wanted. And there we go. And that equally gives me an extender, or a period of time where we can then make that tinder go. So if I've got dry tinder, which I've collected, I would then simply add on to it, because I've got an existing fire, and I'd have to then build that up. Finally, add sticks. Now, the UK has a habit of being a bit moist, and so you can have wood, but it's actually moist on the outside. What you can do then is break it down and create feather sticks. And this is a skill set. So you can, in an urban area, use people's or wood that you may find, or you can break down logs. And if you're breaking down logs, you need a tool to do that, aka an axe. So how would we then create feather sticks? Well, you may create a feather stick by simply taking your wood, whether it's collected in an urban environment, hold your knife and then gently push. And what that does is create and slithers off that dry wood in the center. And what you're after is creating, without cutting them off, loads and loads of little tinders. And the more I'm doing, the better it becomes. So each of those becomes a micro surface to have my fire triangle on. And I'm keeping the knife steady, which must be a sharp knife, and I'm pulling the wood towards me on a line, and that's creating the little feathers hence its name. It's a feather stick. Each of those is going to create for me a surface where I can ignite. Now, what happens if I don't no longer have Vaseline balls? Well, this is where I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. Can I light a feather stick with just a ferrocerium rod? The reason I've created actually a little divot, and that's what I'm going to put or rest my ferrocerium rod on. I'm also going to optimize my chances by scraping off some of the magnesium into okay. You've gone out, you swine. There we go. So do I need Vaseline balls? No, I don't. What I need is options to create the fire. I need tinder to then create the flame, and the feather sticks I need to then build up on that. Things like, obviously, hay is quite useful. There we go. But anything dry, in an urban environment, it can be things like, I know, tissue paper, toilet paper, cardboard. That will help. The trouble with tinder is if I haven't got an extender on, it has a habit of going out because it's an instant. Once I get the ignition source on there and I get my fire triangle right, I then get the spark, and that may be not enough. So I need to do my preparation in time and get my sticks together, and they vary in size. So if I'm collecting sticks, oh, that's far too big. I need to get them in varying sizes, anything from needle length, and I need to make sure they're dry if I'm naturally collecting it. And how do I know that? Because when I snap it, it makes that snappy noise, and that means it's dry inside. It's decided I'm on a play. There you go. It's definitely going.
It is.
So if the more you have polyester in your lint, the more it's going to have a plasticky smell to it. So again. Okay. So what other methods can we use then, or what other tinder can use? Well, one of the things that's quite an excellent is, has anybody got a garden? Yep. Seth, you've got a garden. Do you know what this is? It's jute twine. That's different. That's 100% natural. And so when I fluff it up, so during your urban foraging, jute twine is a useful item to collect, along with your Vaseline balls and other things. So, gone straight away. Okay, so what other things could we use? Well, we can use natural tinder such as King Edward's cakes. King Edward cakes tend to be a useful tool and useful for carrying fire. The other thing you can utilize is tape. You swine.
Close.
Close. You decided you don't want to play. It's just melted more than anything else. That's great. I don't know where you got this tape from, Jim. Good grief.
Not my fault.
Was it Timu?
No, it definitely wasn't.
Nothing wrong with Timu, but hey. So again, be careful the tinder in this case, and you're not going to be successful. It takes practice, and there's other conditions as well. So it's windy here. I'm not making excuses, I'm just explaining. Sometimes things are not as great as you think. One of the other things then you can also create, which is also quite a useful tinder source, is you can take 100% cotton and create char cloth. Okay.
Yeah.
And again, you can use your ferro rod on your char cloth, slightly different. That's definitely a light. Oop, as it flies off.
What Roger's doing here is
Okay, so I've used then the ferro rod with the char cloth and then made a tinder bundle. Yep. Fantastic. Nope, it is just 100% cotton cloth that's been put into a tin, and you can create charcoal exactly the same way, but you want to use a hard wood. The other thing that I forgot to tell you is that what makes the best feather sticks is a soft wood, preferably pine, because the resin in it will then act as the accelerant and it's easier to light. Hardwood for charcoal if I can, and char cloth is simply 100% cotton clothing in a tin, put in the fire until there's no more smoke coming out of it, take it out, keep the oxygen from getting to it, and you create a char cloth.
That's the question. Does it matter whether the coloured or...
It makes no difference. What is very difficult to find now is, oh fantastic, is if it's got a polyester mix.
Yeah.
What we're starting to discover is that some things that are sold as 100% cotton sometimes have polyester mix. Certainly if you buy it off the market or some other places. Yeah. Okay, so Jim has used another natural fibre then, and that is birch bark, sometimes known as river birch. And you'll see it sometimes as it grows around, and the bark itself will start to unravel. That's river birch. Collect that. Actually, you don't want to dry it out. You want to actually has it still some flexibility. What's giving it the flexibility is the oil in the birch. If it dries out completely, it won't do what's just happened. Because the reason it's black is because the birch oils are acting as an accelerant. Okay. Oh, am I going to do flint and steel?
We got so many goodies to play with.
I'll shut up a minute and let you have a go.
All right. So it's just, as Roger was saying, it's just running through all the different options that you've got. And there are so many different options. As we walked around with Greg this morning, we were looking at bits and bobs. And as Greg rightfully said, it's not just food you're looking for when you're on a foraging run, it's anything that's useful to you. And obviously for our purposes, in a survival scenario, fire is very key. So finding anything that you might be able to assist you in lighting a fire at some point would be a good thing. You picked up some heads?
Yep, thistle heads.
Thistle heads. So I know them as a flash tinder. You know them as flash tinder. Okay, so the idea of a flash tinder is it will take a spark really, really well, but it burns out like that. So when using a flash tinder, preparation is key. So it's having stuff to be able to add to it almost instantly, because it's likely to just burn and be gone in a couple of seconds. But this stuff is absolutely fantastic. The other stuff, that if you can find it, depends on the area you're in, bulrushes. So the tops of the bulrush is the bit that looks like a hot dog. That's absolutely fantastic. All right, so you can get them to dry out. You can pick them whenever, as long as you've got the head and that. Sometimes you need to let them dry out. But just to show you how fast these go, I'm not going to add anything to it. We'll see if I can weight it down a little bit, stop it from burning out.
And it's gone.
That's it, it's gone. It's as simple as that. The easy way to do it, actually, and a really nice thing to do, I do it with my kids, because I don't really like dandelions on my lawn. I'll do the really bad father thing, give them a lighter. I go, here you go burn all the heads. And they literally go snap, 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 and they're all gone. But it's just proof that it is a flash tinder.
There you go. It's virtually gone.
That's it. So obviously you wouldn't want to do it with just a little bit, because you can see that burnt out very, very quickly. You want to get a big bunch of it. The more you can get, the longer it will last. The other thing that a lot of people have in their handbags, if you're ladies, you might have hand sanitizer. Certainly for our purposes in the... Lovely, thank you. You can extend this by putting some of this on it. All right? Now just squirt yourself with it. I'm highly flammable now. So I burnt myself many a time before. It is burning. So that's now extended that flash tinder enough that it's still burning. If I get some of this, you might be able to catch it. There you go. See? So it just extends that little bit that you've got. So I didn't have to put a lot of that on to make that work. But then you can put that on pretty much anything and it'll burn. So that's why I like carrying this stuff. Obviously it's multi-use. That's the whole point of being a prepper, and having multiple things that do multi-use things for you. So it sterilises my hands if I need to. I can obviously use it as a fire starter. If I really wanted to, I could try and clean my pots with it a little bit if I wanted to, you know. So it's good stuff to have. It's very windy today, so who's to say what's going to happen with this stuff? This is magnesium dust, and this is fantastic. So if you can get it, you can usually get magnesium shavings. Whether you can get magnesium dust, that's another matter altogether. Again, another flash tinder. Let's hope it don't
Blow away.
blow away. Obviously you'd have to select where you wanted to do this. You're not going to do this in an open field like we are currently, if you're in a situation. But it does burn very fast, very bright.
So that's
And very hot.
burning at 5,000 degrees centigrade. So I don't know, perhaps we're not trusted in the military, I don't know, but they give us guns, so I don't know what they're talking about. They used to issue, and still do, is solid magnesium, and it's more stable in this state. So what you can do is you can do as Jim's does, but it takes a little bit longer, is you can use a bit of tape. Oh, you've got it. And then wrap it around on itself.
All right, Vaseline. Obviously you have Vaseline in tubs like this, which I love because they're easy to get your balls in and have them good swash around. Little ones. And then I keep one of these in my pack. So it's, again, it's just having something smaller and smaller. And you can put them in these. All right, so Vaseline's great stuff to have. Just have it everywhere.
So it's just a magnesium block. What I'm doing is taking off some shavings.
Effectively use whatever it is you're doing the striking with to angle the sparks down. So when you're doing it, I'm doing it at that angle. But the one thing that you get, and this is just general care, and the reason I don't do this one is to show it around. If you have a look at that, I'll throw it there. That has speed bumps on it. And that's because you're going fast at it, and you'll create these. That's because it's uneven pressure on the stick as you're doing it. The way to do it is do exactly what Roger's doing. Every now and then you slowly doing it, and you just take off those tops again, and then you can go fast again. So it's just sometimes that can cause not a great strike. But the reason I leave that on there is because it's a bit hard to explain to people what speed bumps are unless they can feel them. I'm sure everybody knows what these are. Windproof matches. Should we give them a go? It's a windy day. Find out. Well, it ain't going out. Yeah, and that's it. So if you're relying on this sort of stuff thinking that it's going to be burning for a long time, almost classed again as like a flash tinder. So you get it striped, you got to have everything ready. So this is basically just crystallized tree sap. Right, so it's just another way. That's just full
exactly
of tree
what
sap.
you were saying.
That's crystallized tree sap. So I went onto Amazon, 12 quid, kilo bag of it turned up, and for me to gather a kilo of sap probably would have taken well over a year. So, you know, I collect it, definitely. If you can get it. But when you're doing it, don't use the blade that you normally use because it sticks to it. It's an absolute nightmare to get off. Take along something purpose that you're going to use to be able to get it off. So it's what they used to do with arrowheads and stuff like that. So you put your, obviously carve your arrow or your spearhead or whatever, and then you end up fit it, take it off, put the sap on, put with you what used to be called as caveman glue, wasn't it? Yeah, pitch. And then put it on, put that into it, and then a lot of people would wrap little bits of leather around it or something, and it just goes off super hard. It's great stuff. Right, so this little mixture I've done here is a bit patchy. Who's to say it might work, it might not. So it's potassium permanganate. I don't know whether you've ever heard of that. I keep one of these in my first aid kit because you can use it for first aid purposes, and also it's great for lighting fires if it goes. So you can use it several different ways. Today I'm using it with sugar. So the idea is you grind it together, and as long as it wants to play ball today, it will light up. So you don't actually have to put a spark to it at all. It's just friction that is causing it and the mixture of the two elements. The other way to do it, which I couldn't get in time for coming here, is glycerin. So you can just get glycerin in a tub, just literally put a drop or two on top of it. It naturally will just do its thing without you even having to touch it. So it's a really handy thing to have with you.
So you're walking around the field, and who do you happen to bump into? The one and only YouTube superstar, weapon collector, Mike. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Chris.
Excellent stuff. What do you think of the meet so far?
It's been really good. It's been really good. So this is my first time here. It's always nice meeting new people. I love coming to the meets. Some of you lot will know I don't drive, so I don't get to a lot of them. So this is only my fourth one, I think. Yeah, it's been excellent. I really enjoyed it.
And the sunshine. You haven't got
Yeah.
burned yet?
No, I've got the old sunscreen on.
And you've been good.
Oh yes. Yeah, but
Guys, you believe anything. You've seen his chats online, Mike. Because you still do your chat, don't you?
Yeah. I do live streams on a Friday and Saturday night, 9:30 to about 12:30.
Guys, we'll put the link below for that, so join in on Mike. And he's not just a YouTube superstar, he also makes things as well, don't you, mate?
Yeah, I've been getting into leather work recently. Don't just do leather work, as you know. I do. I make knives and swords and
utility tools.
Yes.
Everything to help you out of the situation, basically.
Yes.
So the true craftsman. So,
Yeah.
and as you can see, guys, the work below there is the items that he's made. And yeah, if you're interested in anything like that, just drop a message or go on and drop him a comment in his chat. But you know, it's always great to see the one and only weapon collector.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's
so
good
you're more
to
than
see you
welcome.
too, mate.
So the big question is, Mike, are you going to come to another meet?
Oh, 100%, definitely.
Guys, you heard it here first.
And you should too.
Excellent.
£97 raised for charity, so thank you very much. All the names are in the hat, so if your name's drawn out, come and get a prize. Lee! Lee! Lee!
No, there's only been two. Yeah, just pick one. Oh, no.
97.
97.
Mark Slater!
Hey.
Steve J!
Oh, he is, he's just coming.
Hey.
Oh, here it goes.
I told him to come out. Pick something, Dave.
You leave from the bug out!
Well done. Yes, thank you, mate. Cheers, mate.